What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders for Thursday, January 28th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comments section who are your favorite options on FanDuel for tonight's slate. We're rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Mikal Bridges, Jeremy Grant, DeAndre Ayton, Reggie Jackson, and Anthony Davis on the outside looking in. Who will be the favorites for Thursday? Time to find out. First up, welcome back, Christian Wood. Power forward eligibility, 9,500, projected for 43. The goal is 55, and he's in the optimal lineup 35% of the time. I'm giving him the normal run, so I'm giving him 32 minutes, 26% usage, 23 and 11 as a base projection. You're hoping he gets a block or two. That would be the goal, but I expect it to be business as usual for Christian Wood in his return. Been out for a game or two or three. I can't keep track any longer. Too many COVID absences just messing me up. He's a 1.2 fantasy point per minute guy. Now that he's on the Rockets, he's seeing a slightly increased role as well. 1.35 is where I have him for this game. Relatively neutral pace spot for Christian Wood, and he gets a date with Portland. That means he gets Enes Kanter, a guy that probably can't slow him down defensively. They're going to have, I would imagine, have to put somebody else on him. Christian Wood's going to cook today. It's going to be great. Number 5 contender. This one feels less great. Number 4, shooting guard eligibility, Luke Kennard, 5,500, projected for 28. The goal is just north of 40, but he's in the optimal lineup 35% of the time. Again, we've got no Pat Bev, no Paul George, no Kawhi Leonard. In those scenarios, Luke Kennard sees big-time usage bumps. So I'm giving him 31 minutes, 22% usage, 16, 4, and 4 is the baseline projection. He's normally a 0.8 fantasy point per minute guy, and he's really just a guy you don't pay attention to. But when these guys are off the floor and he gets the ball a little bit more, he's more like a 0.9 guy. Again, this is a neutral pace spot. Who knows who's going to be on the floor for Miami at this point? They've got like 6 guys questionable, including Jimmy Butler. If a bunch of guys are out, this looks great. If it's the full freight of the Miami Heat, it's less great. But either way, 5,500 for a shooting guard option on a 4-game slate that I expect to play north of 30 minutes, north of 20% usage. All of those check boxes look fantastic for Kennard. He's a great value. He's a great mid-tier option, and he's my number 4 contender. Coming off a big one last night, I'm running it straight back. Point guard eligibility, 7,400 for Chris Paul, projected for 38.5. The goal's 48, and he's in the optimal 35% of the time. He's getting increased little bits of everything with Devin Booker out. I'm assuming Devin Booker doesn't play today. If Devin Booker ends up playing, go ahead and bring Chris Paul down here. But 32 minutes, 23% usage, 1.2 fantasy point per minute, 15 points, almost 10 assists and 5 boards, a steal and a half. A huge pace-up spot against the Golden State Warriors. Chris Paul gaining 3 possessions over the Phoenix average. Every bit of this looks fantastic. You're certainly not worried about the Warriors' defense. The pace looks great. The increased usage and ball handling ability for Chris Paul with Devin Booker out looks great. He was a good play yesterday on a 12-game slate. He's an even better play today on a 4-gamer. I think you're going to need some Chris Paul in your life. Ooh, this one didn't work out yesterday, though. Number 2, Bam Adebayo. Power forward eligibility, 9,200, projected for 44.5. The goal's 54, and he's in the optimal lineup 36% of the time. I'm just going to assume that Jimmy Butler isn't playing. I guess I hope that Tyler Hero isn't playing, but I don't think it matters all that much for Bam Adebayo. With Butler off the floor, big time usage, does more ball handling. His assist rate goes through the roof. He's clearly expected to play 34 minutes or more. He's a 1.3 fantasy point per minute guy. And he's taking on a Clippers team that just isn't the same. Their 2 best players aren't on the floor. I think that fits a little bit better for Bam. It's a pace down spot for Miami. They actually lose 3 possessions below their average. I'm so used to saying pace up, but this one pretty aggressively a pace down spot. That's not slowing me down, though. 9,200, well worth the price tag, particularly on FanDuel where he's a power forward. If he were a center, this might look a little bit different. You would still be getting to Bam. Obviously, it's a 4-game slate. But because he's a power forward, it affords you the opportunity to roster him more. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to play the best players as much as I possibly can, and that pretty much starts with Bam Adebayo. Now, before we get to number one, you guys know the drill. One last reminder, hit the like button, helps me out a ton. Hit the subscribe button because we're almost at 50,000 subs. It's probably going to come at the weekend, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. It helps us out so much. It's been great seeing the growth from 0 to 50K and beyond, I guess. Finally, follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. It's the only place you can get my updates. And the number one contender, and it is not even close. Point guard eligibility, 9,700 projected for 50. The goal's 56. He's in the optimal lineup 48% of the time. It's got to be Damian Lillard. 38 minutes, 31% usage, 28, 10, and 5 baseline projections. You cannot beat that at all. No CJ, no Robert Covington, no Yusuf Nurkic. No problem for Dame Lillard. Pretty normal pace spot. They gain an extra possession, but really, we're getting Dame Lillard taking over everything for the team. Most of the guys in the rest of the lineup, outside of, say, like Anthony Simons for a bit, aren't really big usage hogs. This is Dame's team even when everyone is healthy. I don't think that's changing now. He's the clear-cut number one option today. He's the first guy you put into every cash lineup. He's probably the first guy you put into every GPP lineup. This is as good as it gets. You got to get yourself Damian Lillard. 9,700 is just not enough for the role that he's got. That's why he's the number one contender by a mile. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Thursday, January 28th. Big news, I'm actually on the strategy show this morning. I am on Live Before Lock tonight as well, so keep your eyes peeled for all of the content I'm churning out. And if you're a premium sub, office hours in our premium Slack, 1 p.m. Eastern, taking questions for an hour. Come join us. If you're not a premium sub, awesemo.com/join. Come hang out. Come join in on the fun. Good luck tonight, everybody. I'll talk to you again tomorrow morning.